life vest only outside the aircraft. Your life vest light will automatically switch on once submerged in water.
We've covered almost everything, but before takeoff and landing, please have your seatbelt securely fastened. Your footrest, tray table, and basic monitor stood. Leadership drills.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Now that we're all settled, you can learn more about our in-flight safety procedure reading the safety card found in the seat pocket in front of you. Also, please be extra careful when handling hot beverages. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax as we're about to take off. We hope you enjoyed this in-flight safety video made by the Filipino, for the Filipino, and for the world.
Mabuhay! From Philippine Airlines, the heart of the Filipino.
It's almost like an old friend. The one thing I really wanted to do while I was in Ho Chi Minh Airport is go up into that tower. I asked, but they don't speak English. I don't know what he thought. I have no idea. I went downstairs, I found a door that led, that's the FAA building, that led to the yard. It was a secure door though. And I said to the guard, can I go up into the tower? I think he thought it was a little funny. He didn't get upset. No sir, no English. Did I mention they don't speak English? Anyway, I wasn't allowed to use the drone or go up into the tower out in the yard. Maybe next time.
As a safety requirement, this will allow you to cabin lights before takeoff. You may use your reading lights found in your service panels. Clear takeoff stations.
There's a pretty tall building over there. It's got to be at least 5 miles away. We might fly over it. I didn't know that building was there. Not that I would have went there. To travel anywhere in this city takes an hour. But I don't, maybe I would have went there. The view, but I don't know. When it didn't pop up on the tourist things. The only touristy thing I wanted to do was the Mekong Delta. But I was sick when I got here, and I did not feel like walking miles in the jungle. So, and plus I was supposed to stay in a hotel room. Plus that doesn't look like it's going to give you such a great view because of the smog. The city is definitely smogged up. All smogged up, so to speak. Right now we're in Alpha, waiting to take off. Alpha is where the aircraft wait, and sometimes you'll go through your final checklist for flaps, hydraulics, things like that. Guy's on a bicycle. That's pretty cool. That thing looks like a caterpillar. The little stairway. It looks like a caterpillar all curled up. I think we're number 3 in line. Number 3 in line. that guy under the nose of the plane is talking to the pilot, or the guy who's going to taxi the plane. He needs an FCC-1 radio license to plug that wire into the cockpit. Oh, that's what it was in 1975. All right, wait, we're moving into taxiing onto the runway. Maybe another minute. We're on the runway now. I'm going to point the camera down a little bit. You'll see a set of stripes when the aircraft starts really picking up speed. That's V1. That means velocity 1. When the pilot comes upon up to the first set of stripes on the runway, that's V1. That means the pilot, depending on the aircraft, has enough room to put his brakes and reverse thrusters on and stop the aircraft before the end of the runway. But then there'll be another set of stripes on the runway, and then that set is designated V2, velocity 2. At that point, if the wheels touch V2, the pilot is committed to take off, because if he tries to abort, he probably won't have enough room to land to stop the aircraft before the fence or the barrier or water in most cases. And that's not a good thing. So, once you reach V2, depending on the aircraft, I mean, you could have a Cessna, we're taking off from this airport, and you could go way past V2. You're never going to get to V2. You're going to be up in the air before you get to V1. With a small single engine or double engine Cessna or whatever other kind of planes would take off. But they don't have small aircraft here like that. But in some places they do. Okay, we're getting ready. When we do get ready, he'll hit all throttles 120%. When you take off an airplane, you push the throttles to the bulkhead. And if that's 120%, 118%, 125%, 130% thrust, you push them to the bulkhead and you hold your hand on all the throttles. And the co-pilot will hold his hand on the controls so that your hand doesn't fall off. You're committed at that point after you pass V2. And God forbid the pilot gets a heart attack or a spasm or something like that. The co-pilot will back it up. This city is just one huge set of buildings after another. Apartment buildings, warehouses, industrial areas. I looked for a hospital. I wanted to see if I could get a prescription filled. But they said the nearest hospital was miles away, and it was starting to rain really, really hard. So I never went. I was going to see if they had something for the flu. I didn't get COVID. I don't know what I got. I got on a plane in Bohol. I felt fine. An hour and a half later, I was sick as a dog. And when I took the test and tested positive for COVID, I doubt it was COVID, but it was serious. I didn't have the runs, and I didn't have a headache. Did not have the runs, nor did I have a headache. However, I was weak, very weak, and I had shortness of breath. I don't know what it was. I have no idea what it was. But I got it in an hour and a half and was sick as a dog. And it wasn't, I didn't eat any food. Could have been. What? Food poisoning would give you the runs. So I don't think it was food poisoning. I've had food poisoning before. I don't think it was that. I don't know what it was. It was something I caught on the plane. And I'm telling you, an hour and a half after I got on that plane, I was sick as a dog. So when I took the test the next morning, I was sick as a dog. And the fellas, two young men, a doctor and a nurse, or two nurses that took the COVID test. I took the test at 7 o'clock in the morning, and he said, "Mr. Fazio?" I said, "Yes." He goes, you fell. And I said, "Okay. What does that mean?" Because I thought if you failed, that was good. Because if you test positive, that's bad. That means you're not going to be able to get on your airplane. So I said, "Okay, when can I come back and test again?" And he said 5 or 6 days. So today is the 6th day, and the test takes from the time they put the swab in your nose.
Please check out stations.
To the time that they get the results back, less than 30 minutes. I was the only person in the little area where they tested. I don't know. They put the swab in my nose. Just 90 seconds later, the results came back that I had passed. Thank you very nicely. And they both smiled and said, "Have a nice day." I thought that was really nice. Okay, that's the stripes that designate the end of the runway. Now he's gonna put his brakes on, give it full throttle, and release the brakes. That's what I would do. The reason that we're waiting here is because when the previous aircraft took off, the turbulence from the lift and the jet engine exhaust causes a turbulence. They let the atmosphere calm down a little bit. There we go. Full throttle, 120%, 122%, 125%, 130%. We're at 130% throttle. 131%. We are committed. He should start his rotation right about now. Rotation, 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 baby. I told you the city is huge. Look how smoggy it is. Yeah, that's why they make a lot of manufacturing in Vietnam. All those warehouses down there. Visibility isn't much more than about 4 miles. And then it just fades to black. And thus ends the takeoff of the Boeing 777 aircraft. On our way to Manila, I'm going to take a nap. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I literally, so I wouldn't miss this flight, no inconvenience, no going back to the hotel after I bought my ticket yesterday. I said, what if I fall? Or what if the cab gets into a horrific accident? Or what if we have a typhoon and, delay in the morning, cyclone, typhoon, I can't get to the airport early. So I'll sleep right here. And they don't have a problem with that. In other videos I show you, people actually literally bring a sleeping bag to the airport and sleep on the floor. They bring blankets, they bring blow up pillows, cushions. They bring a lot of stuff that they can sleep on. They know they might come in the morning and not have another flight until the next day. Because this way they might live in the province. I saw people there yesterday afternoon when I bought my ticket that was still there this morning. I slept in the Manila airport also because I was waiting to get my Vietnam entrance and exit visa. They said it could come any day, could come in a few hours. So when I applied for it late at night, the Cebu Pacific women helped me fill out the visa application. I paid for it with a credit card, and she said it could come in a few hours, it could be a few days. So I said, well, you know what, I'll just wait here. So I stayed there that night, and then I stayed one more night because I had sent a letter to the Vietnam immigration office, telling her that this was an emergency. Could they expedite my ticket? And then there was some forms that came back and said that there's a minimum of 72 hours that you have to wait, but we will put you at the top of the list. And they did. And 72 hours later, my visa. I don't know what river that is, but those are Vietnamese. It looks like rivers, but no, it's not. Oh yeah, it is. Wow, that water does not look clean at all. That water is brown. I never saw water that color before. Well, I have in the Gowanus Canal in New York City. That water is a greenish brown. It's all algae and pollutants. Yeah, I was gonna do the Mekong Delta trip. I just couldn't see myself spending. I wasn't up to walking around for 10 hours, and it wasn't a trip where you go on a motorized boat. It was a paddle boat, and I was gotta remember, I was sick, very sick at that time. And then I could have did it. I wanted to do it. I looked into it, and for 3 days it was booked up solid. First day I didn't try, so for 3 days after that it was booked up solid. So, wow, this place is Vietnam. Look at all that rivers. You know, 50 years ago, that was nothing but a jungle. And all those people died fighting for a jungle. Pretty sick.
For your safety and comfort, please keep your seatbelts fastened whenever seated. This is a non-smoking light. Smoking, charging, and